Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yashar Allah. Call Haloyim La Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Harakah Kodash for blessing our elders. It's a lot. With the spirit of truth, so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwaf. It's keeping the faith in the work, y'all keep at it. It's your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. It's Obadiah, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus said Yahweh power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. The pride of Esau, Edom's heart, the pride that rests in that man's mind has fooled him. He believes that he can hold on to the world forever and ever, even forever, but it's not prophesied that way. And really right now he's trying to, reaffirm that grip that he has on the earth, but the Lord only gave Esau, Edom, the world for a season and for a time, right? And he's seeing, with really him and all his people, seeing that their time is coming to pass, right? So I'm gonna let this video play, and I'll be back. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
And for that, a little history is in order. Many years ago, about 75, at the end of World War II, the United States emerged as the absolutely dominant economic power in the world, a position it had never held before. Before, the British Empire dominated the world. Indeed, what became the United States was a small colony in a corner of that global empire. In 1945, by contrast, Britain was destroyed, so were Germany and France and Britain and Japan and Russia and China. They were all either destroyed by the war or destroyed before and as a consequence of the war. Leaving the United States, and we all know that, the dollar became the world currency. America spread its military bases, 700 of them now, all over the world, just to let everybody know who the policeman on the corner was or is. The American economy produced so many goods and services that we could and did help Europe rebuild, etc., etc.
See, that was the Lord building this place up, right? Yahweh, Basham Yahweh Shai putting the weaponry that the daughter of Babylon had from the jump to establish its dominance over the earth. Notice he said after World War II. What happened in World War II? World War II, them bombs were let loose, Oppenheimer and things of such, right? So, of course, the dollar became dominant after that because, America put foot to ass. But, like I said, that time is running out, man. This kingdom is falling, and Esau Edom knows it. So I'm going to let him finish.
We were dominant. We set up the World Bank. We set up the International Monetary Fund. We literally organized, managed, and ran the world economy. And we made America grow very spectacularly in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even into the 90s. Very impressive. But as anyone with the slightest knowledge of history would have known, and there were plenty who did, they said this is an exceptional moment. You're not going to have this situation of being the only one at the top. It comes out of the worst war the world has ever seen, and we don't have that every day, thank God, and therefore it's going to erode, it's going to fade. Also remember that every single empire that the world has ever seen, British, French, German, Dutch, Russian, Greek, Roman, it doesn't matter. They all went up and then they all went down.
Right.
The American empire, built up after World War II, went up, so it was only a question of when would it go down.
Well,
Now, here comes the first reality that was nowhere in sight on the inauguration.
Now, Scripture speaks about, the downfall. Of course, it speaks about the downfall of the daughter of Babylon. And one main prophecy is in Ezekiel chapter 38, where it speaks about Gog and Magog and all of Gog's allies going against the daughter of Babylon. With war in mind. Right? Let me see. Ezekiel 38 and verse 1 says, "And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith Yahweh, power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal." So the Lord is setting them up too, setting them up for the fall. These individuals believe that they are gearing, which ain't nothing but Esau Edom. They think they gearing up to take the world to the next level, or take the world, further and beyond. But in actuality, this the Lord really setting up Esau Edom for the kill. Right? Verse 4, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee." Right? So the Lord will bring nations together with, Gog and Magog, which is Russia, right, for war.
What are we as a nation going to do? How are we going to go through a declining empire? And lest anyone have a doubt, we are declining. The United States now, the dollar is less and less a global currency. A few years ago, central banks around the world kept 80% of their reserves in the dollar. It was considered as good as gold or maybe better. Now that number is about 40%. Dollar is still important, but nothing like it was. Let me give you another example. These are big numbers everybody knows. The United States has a group of 7 nations, of which it is one, called the G7, the group of 7. The United States, Canada, Japan, Britain, France, Germany, and Italy. That used...
Now, notice, them countries that he named, a lot of them ain't dealing with the daughter of Babylon no more. They leaving. Right? Canada being one of the main ones. Right? We just heard with the terrorists and everything, how they threatened the daughter of Babylon to cut the power off in this place. That sounds very familiar. Right? Revelation chapter 17. Let's see. Revelation 17, verse 1. "And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." That her speaking about the daughter of Babylon. Right? Let me see. Verse 3. "So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns." Right? Basically, the daughter of Babylon sitting on top of his allies, really sitting on top of his allies, and ruling his world, changing the world from one mindset to another. But to the point, let me see. Revelation 17 and verse 16, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For power hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of power shall be fulfilled.
To be the powerhouse core of the economy of the world. The United States has the big one in the middle, and then the other 6 as its allies. Well, let's look at it today. If you add them all up, they together, all of them, U.S. and the other 6, produce about 26-27% of the world's output. But there's another group that has emerged. It's called the BRICS, B-R-I-C-S. That stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And the original 5, they started about 15 years ago. Now they are 22 countries. Now let me tell you very briefly about them. If you add up all the goods and services they produce in a year, the way I just did for the G7, the total portion of world output that they account for is about 35%. Let me remind you, the U.S. and its allies account for 27% of world output. BRICS, China and its allies, account for more, much more.
Okay. What he's saying is, the daughter of Babylon and its allies are not the top dog anymore. So what that mean for the allies, especially of the daughter of Babylon, which is America, is barking at its allies. They don't have to take that. They can easily move on and move over to the other side. And they will, according to the saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
They're an alternative pole in the world economy. That is the more enormous reality about our economy than anything else.
But that brings up a great question, Dr. Wolfe. When I was listening to you, I was thinking about this. And yet, our economy is not producing as much or not growing in the way you're talking about the other economies, but we have more billionaires than any other economy. I mean, what does that say about...
See? I'm going right back to that pride. Right back to that pride. See, Esau Edom don't think he'll ever go down, man. This devil's something serious, man. This devil feels like he will never be touched. But see, the Lord say something different. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right? The Lord is going to touch you, man. And the Lord moves, through other things, through spirits, through men, right? Because Yahweh ain't got to get off his throne. And the Lord already got these men in place to do his will. Right? Let me go to, let me see. Jeremiah 50 and 31. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith Yahweh, power of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. Right? Yahweh Shall doing away with their place, man. And they see it. They just trying to deny it. They trying to brush it off like, nah. It looks bad, but we'll bounce back like we always do. Hell no. This kingdom ain't no different than the rest, man. This place has to fall just like all the rest.
The way our economy operates, that even when we're declining, there are a smaller and smaller group of people becoming wealthier and wealthier and wealthier and wealthier. How are those two? Those seem contradictory to me. How do we reconcile that?
Not at all, because it's exactly what happened in every other economy, every other empire. The people, and it's easy to understand why.
Okay.
When an economy is going up, The people at the top can afford to be generous. They're making a ton of money. They're becoming wealthy. Sure, they can pay an extra 4 or 5% a year to their workers. Keep them happy, avoid a strike. And there's so much money in the growth period that you can afford it. But when the economy goes down, what the people at the top have always done and are doing now in America is those at the top, the CEOs, the people who we all know who they are. They use their wealth and power, shouldn't surprise you, to hold on. And because they have wealth and power, they can do that. They can hold on, which means the costs of the downturn, we, the rest of us, it's offloaded onto us. So what you're seeing is that the inequality in the United States gets worse. And look at the irony. I'll give you a statistic earlier this week. The most important research outfit in the world, Oxfam, located in Britain, keeps track of this, gave their annual report. And it added up the experience of the roughly 3,000 billionaires that exist in the world today. And as you rightly said, many of them are American. Not all by a long shot, but many of them. Here's the statistic it gave. Across the year 2024 just ended, the collective wealth of the 300 billionaires rose by over $6 billion per day.
Oh my God.
That's incredible.
Okay, so look what I'm telling
incredible.
you. Capitalism as a global system is making those already super wealthy even more super wealthy.
Right, but what's
If you didn't understand what he just said, this system that exists allows the rich to continue to get richer and richer and richer at the cost of the poor. That becomes poorer and poorer because they boost up, the money, which in essence, keeps the poor going down because the poor don't receive anything more. The rich do, via stocks and so forth and so on, however they get their bread. Because we speaking about the billionaires that's already there. And they have their inside game that they play in order to ensure that they stay wealthy while the poor get poorer.
What's amazing about extraordinary is that you're saying as our economy declines, as working class people's lives get worse, their wealth gets more concentrated and higher. I mean, that's like really seems to me a horrible prescription for people.
Unfortunately, if we had better leaders, they would be talking to us about it. What are we going to do as a nation? The road we are on of a declining empire becoming more and more unequal. Look, you don't need rocket science to understand that's not sustainable. That situation is going to blow up, and it's not going to be pretty. Not even in a country that didn't have everybody with a gun. We are in a very and that's what.
Hey, that's real though. You know how many guns? You know how many you know how many weapons they have per household in this place? It's quite a few, man. Right? And that's a large reason why they kept trying to, speak on gun reform and, what I'm saying, so forth and so on, because they fully understood what was coming. But Babylonians are not finna up them weapons. That's one thing they learned. You can forget that. Them folk don't give a damn about no law you gonna pass. And that all goes into scripture too. That's 2 Ezra, 15. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, this place is that, man. And call Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh shot for it, man. These proud individuals, man, are living in their last days of their glory, right? Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Yahweh Shem Shara desire these precepts in this video with edifying. Call Lord Yahweh Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Harakakodash. Shalom, Yashar Allah.